Okay, well, we're going to begin with a little bit of show and tell this morning. This poster has been hanging in the foyer of our church for a long time now, many years before I was the pastor here. And this poster lists the 8 points of progressive Christianity. I think most of you know our church is a designated member of the Center for Progressive Christianity. And I'm often asked by people, what's the difference between a progressive Christian and a traditional Christian? And I think that this poster explains it really well. So, for example, the first point says, we believe that following the path and the teachings of Jesus can lead one to an awareness and experience of the sacred and the oneness and unity of all life. That's beautiful. And I think most Christians, be they traditional, conventional Christians or progressive Christians, would agree with that. But the second point says, we affirm that the teachings of Jesus provide but one of many ways to experience the sacredness and oneness of life, and we can draw from diverse sources of wisdom in our spiritual journey. That is the key difference, the thing that differentiates progressive Christians from most other Christians. Most traditional or conventional Christians say, no, Jesus is the only way. You must follow Jesus in order to be saved. Progressive Christians say, yes, the way of Jesus is the way. But there are other spiritual teachers of other faith traditions that are much older than Christianity who also spoke of this way. So we as progressive Christians, we recognize that there are people of other faith traditions who have other names for the way to God. And we recognize that their way is true for them as our way is true for us. And that is why I believe it is so arrogant and self-righteous for us to say to the world's 500 million Buddhists, to say to the world's 1 billion Hindus, to say to the world's 1.5 billion Muslims, you're all wrong. You're going about it the wrong way. We have the right way. Okay. That's arrogant. And it is simply not true. So we as progressive Christians recognize that we can draw from other sources of wisdom because they're all pointing to the same way. Jesus and all of the great spiritual teachers, they were teaching universal spiritual principles. These universal principles are not exclusive to one particular faith or one particular church. There are many paths, but they all lead to the one truth, the one true God. So people of other faith traditions aren't wrong. They're not working against us. And the reason I share that with you this morning is because of today's gospel message. Did you notice how it began? The apostles go to Jesus and they say, Jesus, there's this guy and he's healing people and he's not one of us. He's not one of our followers, and we tried to stop him. And Jesus says, don't stop him. Whoever is not against us is for us. This person is doing something wonderful, healing people, working miracles. Jesus is saying, I don't need the credit. It's not about me. It's about the way. And the way is about awakening people to the truth of their being, healing people's lives. It's about a way of peace, love, and joy that all faith traditions are all about. And so I think in today's gospel message, Jesus is trying to make that point. Jesus isn't saying, go and make Christians of everyone. Because you know, Jesus wasn't a Christian. Jesus was a Jew. And he was a very devout Jew. So if you want to go out and convert people to the religion of Jesus, convert them to Judaism. Now, I don't know about you. I have never had a Buddhist knock on my door and evangelize for Buddha. I have never heard of a Hindu demanding that the Vedanta be taught in public schools. I go into hotel rooms, and every one of them in a nightstand has copies of the Bible. I never see a copy of the Quran or the Dhammapada. I see missions with names like Bibles for Mexico and Bibles for Africa. I never see the Tao Te Ching for Mexico or the Bhagavad Gita for Africa. Do you? Somehow Christians have gotten this belief that Jesus is the only way, and he was instructing us to make everybody in the world believers of Jesus. And Jesus never said that. Jesus didn't come to start a new religion. Jesus came to teach us this way, to awaken us to this way. That was his purpose. But of course, now for 2,000 years, we haven't really been listening to that. As we heard in our words of integration and guidance this morning, most Christians believe Jesus was the only perfect person and that all of us need to bow down. But Jesus said, these are his own words, not mine. I'm not making them up. They're in the Bible. Look it up. Jesus said, all of the things that I have done, you can do. And then he added, these things and greater. He's saying you can do greater things than he did. But most of us don't believe it. Now, the man who is doing miracles in today's gospel, the one who is casting out demons, he's not a follower of Jesus's. But we see that he's healing people. Now, it says he's casting out demons, and I want to make it clear to you, I've spoken about this to you before. There is no red guy with a horn and a tail and a pitchfork who's possessing people's bodies. That's childish. Grow up. Okay? To cast out demons means to heal people's spirits. That's what this man is doing. That's what all the spiritual teachers do, is they take our spirits which are unclean, our spirits which are low, and they help us to rise up, to awaken, to go from darkness to light, from limitation to abundance. Okay? So that's what this man is doing, and it says he's doing it in Jesus' name. But I've shared with you before, name in the Bible does not mean proper name. He's not doing it saying, Jesus, heal this person. That's not what it means. Name in the Bible means spirit. This man is healing people in the same spirit as Jesus. And that spirit is the one true spirit of all faiths. The great I am. The great I am, the one true God of all religions. So when Jesus said, I am the way, he didn't mean I, Jesus of Nazareth, am the way. He was talking about the I am. I am the way, the great I am, the one true God of all faith traditions. That is the way. Follow that way. That is the purpose of religion. The purpose of religion, regardless of what your religion is to merge the I with the I am. For the self to become one with the one. Oneness with God. That's what all religions are teaching. To merge the I with the I am. Now, Jesus is letting us know in today's gospel that those of us who walk this spiritual path, this way, we're going to have stumbling blocks along the way. And so you heard him say, if your hand is a stumbling block, cut it off. If your eye is a stumbling block, tear it out. He obviously is not talking literally. And it's interesting, even people I know who take the Bible literally, even they say, oh no, he's not being literal here. Okay. Jesus' teachings were figurative. They were symbolic. This is a great example of it. Jesus is saying, let go of whatever is getting in the way of your following the way. Whatever you need to release, let go of, surrender, do it so that you can experience this sacredness and oneness and unity of all life. And then he says, be salt. And I know that's always very confusing for us. When Jesus said, you are salt for the earth, what does that mean? Well, salt in the ancient world in Jesus' day had three uses. It was used to preserve food, because there was no refrigeration. It was used, as we use it today, to enhance the flavor of food. And it was also used in healing, in medicine. So when Jesus uses this metaphor that we are to be salt for the earth, he's saying, you are the preservers, you are the enhancers, you are the healers. You are. Be salt for one another and be light for one another. Not because you are Christians, but because you are followers of the way. Because you are consciously walking this spiritual path, following this way of life, you are to be salt and to be light for one another. Now, our UCC logo, those of you who have become members of our church, you've received a pin with the UCC logo on it. And on it is a phrase from the Bible, and it says, that they may all be one. That's our UCC motto, that they may all be one. And those are the words of Jesus from John 17. It was a prayer. Jesus was praying to God the night before the Last Supper. And he prayed to God that we may all be one. Not one church, not one religion, one spirit, one love. The differences of our religion are beautiful, and we should celebrate them, and we can learn from them. But they're all one love, all one spirit. So what I invite you to do this week is I really want to encourage you each and every day to find time to go within to God's dwelling place, that place of love within you, and to prayerfully consider what are the stumbling blocks of you more closely following the way. What do you need to cut off, tear out, release, let go of, so that you can experience more fully this life of peace, joy, and love? And in the silence, may you know the truth of your being, that you are salt for the earth, and that you are light for the world, a bright, shining light for all the world to see. Namaste.